There's a clear hadith in the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, who wants to fast, who wants to sacrifice, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on that day, i.e. the day of Eid, then he shouldn't trim his, cut his hair or trim his nails. Salama radiallahu ta'ala anha narrated as in Sahih Muslim, إذا دخلت العشر وأراد أحدكم أن يضحي فليمسك عن شعره وأظفاره. So when the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah starts and some of you wants to sacrifice, then he shouldn't trim or cut his nails or his hair. So accordingly, for those who wants to sacrifice, since the beginning of Dhul Hijjah, they shouldn't cut or trim their hair. This is according to this hadith. But there's another hadith, and this is why we have this matter is disagreed upon, and it's a very famous disagreement among the scholars. And it seems that there's no disagreement and there's one opinion and everyone should follow. In reality, no, there are three opinions, and I'll take you through these three opinions. The first opinion, which is the Hanafi opinion and the Maliki as well, some of the Maliki, they said it's not impermissible to trim or cut your nails, and they have their evidence, which I'll quote later, inshallah. The second opinion, it says, which is the Shafi'i school, and as well a narration in the Maliki school, that it is makruh, disliked, but it's a slight disliked. It's not heavy. There is makruh tanzihi. It means it's closer to permissibility than impermissible. The third opinion, which is the famous one and everyone is familiar with, is the Hanbali school. Imam Ahmad, who says the one who's trimming or cutting his nail or hair will be sinful. This is the famous opinion. And Imam al-Nawawi quoted all these opinions in his book Al-Majmu' rahimahullah ta'ala. For those who says it's permissible to cut and trim the hair and the nails, they narrated the hadith of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, which is in the Sahih Muslim and others. Plenty of books of the Sunnah narrated this hadith on the authority of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, she says, كنت أفتل قلائد هدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So I used to make the garlands for the hadi, the sacrificial animal of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he would garland this the sheep himself and would stay with his family as a non-muhrim. So he will not refrain from anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permitted until he sacrificed his animal, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what she is saying, radiallahu anha, Aisha, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will send his hadi, sacrificial animals, to the haram to be slaughtered. This is when he wasn't in ihram, of course. He wasn't doing Hajj. She's talking about normal days, not Hajj days. He wasn't in Hajj. So, and will not refrain from doing anything which is permissible for the person who's not in ihram. So it's clear that Aisha is saying that he never refrained from anything, cutting nails or trimming hair or nothing like that. Accordingly, we have these discussions among the scholars. So to cut a long story short, the summary, we have two opinions mainly. One which says it's haram and sinful to trim or cut the nails. One which says it's permissible and don't worry about it. So if you want to stay out of the disagreement, it's rather better not to trim. Although if you were to do it, there's no sin clearly from the hadith of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha.